Yes. So today we're going to do things just a little bit differently. I'm Larissa Russell of Creative You Business, and normally I would be here interviewing. Yes. And there I am. Today we're going to do things just a little bit different. Why doesn't it come on muted? Please tell me. Zoom, YouTube, why doesn't it come on muted? All right. So today we're going to do things a little bit differently. Normally I would be interviewing someone. I was away over the holidays, and then there was some back and forth with the person I was going to interview today, and it just didn't work out. So I was like, oh, we're going to skip it and I'll not worry about it. And then I'm like, wait a second, I have some important things to say too. So I'm going to interview me. I'm not going to interview me, I'm just going to talk to you. So I would love if you're here. Now, I didn't tell you I would be here, but if you're here, jump in the chat, say hello, that sort of thing. And I want to talk about seasonal planning versus business quarter planning. And this may seem weird, or maybe it's like, what are you talking about? Or it might even be, well, yeah. So we just had our big planning event in the Align Business Building. And it was part of our purpose-driven pathways. So we had a really interesting and what I think is unique approach to our planning. So we had 6 sessions of cosmic smash booking. Now, if you don't know what cosmic smash booking is, Kat Z had created this sort of journaling, art journaling, digging under kind of process. And I brought in Lori Ingram and Celia Barsby, 2 facilitators of hers, to facilitate those sessions. So we had 6 sessions, and we went through some key things to look at in our businesses just to make sure that we were really aligned. So that's one of our things in the Creative You Business Mastermind. So Align Business Building is what it's called, is all about alignment and aligning your business with your goals, your ethics, your values, and really doing things differently, showing up in a different way. And so part of this planning process is the 3 months leading up to the New Year's weekend. We did these 6 cosmic smash booking sessions, and it was really amazing. Just the things that were uncovered, just amazing. And you can still get the replays, but it it really helps you to dig into what your business is about and why you're doing it. And then over the New Year's weekend, we did 3 days of like very linear masculine energy planning, right? And here's the thing. We went through that, we did it, and every single person, myself included, is feeling very disconnected from it. And so I started to percolate on why. Well, number one, this is not the time of year to be planning. The industrial revolution, the need for business, and then our tax system, all of that is based on the calendar year. So the majority of places, of the people that are in my mastermind, the majority have a calendar year for their business. That's when their taxes are due, right? So whenever they're due, it's a calendar year worth. Not everyone, but most. And so all our businesses are based on this calendar year. And the problem with that has been that the energy, which as women who are trying to do things differently, we're trying to align, and we're bringing in a lot more of that feminine energy, and that can be intuition, creativity, collaboration, self-care, like so many different things from the divine feminine that we're bringing into our businesses to do things differently. Why then are we trying to plan, do all this linear thinking, which you do need to do this, but do we need to do it in December and January when the energy is about rest? And so I posed this question to my community and said, what if we switch to seasonal planning? And instead of using business quarters, the only thing that really needs the calendar year is your taxes. Well, you can pick whatever months you need. We do finances in our mastermind twice a month. So there's no reason why you have to base everything else off of that year. So instead of doing, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, we would do it differently. So what we came up with is that we would start our year with spring. So our first quarter will be March, April, May, because this is the time for new beginnings. It's the time for setting intentions. It's the time for the actual planning. That's the energy of that season. Let's get things moving, right? When you think about a garden in spring, and it might be slightly different where you live. I'm in Canada, in Alberta, and most of my students are in the United States. We do have some in Australia, some in New Zealand, some in the UK, and I think a few other places. But the majority of us are Canada and the United States. So this really resonates with us. And you can adjust it as needed. But if we started our year in spring, so March, April, May, and that would be our spring quarter, and that's where we do our planning. And then we would have our summer quarter, which would be June, July, and August, which is a time for new beginnings and fresh intentions. So this is really when we start building on that and things are growing. It's a time for flourishing, time for flourishing. And that's when things are growing. And so the summer is when we could be building. And if you needed time off with your kids, you can set things in place before you actually go on break and set things in place so they can flourish even without you, right? And then the fall, we would do September, October, November, which is about harvesting and reflection. And this is when we start to look at what we've been doing and we start to not wind down fully, but we start to pull the energy back so that we can see what's working, what maybe isn't working, and really course correct if needed. And then in winter, December, January, February, that quieter time, that reflection time, that self-care time. And with these new quarters, the seasonal quarters, we could really move with the energy that we are connected to. As humans, we are connected to this energy of nature. And we keep trying to fight it because that's what's been set in place for us. But it's not working. It's not working, especially for women in business. And a lot of women get into business for themselves because the business culture doesn't work for us. But then we try to bring it into our own business. And that, I think, no, I am pretty sure this is what I sense is that the women who bring that, and I've been guilty of this, bring that into our own business, end up failing at it because we tried so hard to make it work the way big business works. You can succeed without that. Yes, it could be slower. Yes, it takes healing work. And this is what a lot of our community has realized, that you need to do the healing work, that personal self-reflection and self-awareness to grow a successful business. You can have a business and you can spin your wheels and you can work really, really hard and you might get somewhere. But what if you did the personal work and spent that energy there and just allowed your business to unfold in a much easier way? That's something to think about. And the women that are in our community absolutely are doing that. They're doing it differently. So here I am talking about alignment. We do so many things in this mastermind about alignment. And then we were trying to still fit into these business quarters. So we're stopping that. We did this amazing planning weekend. It wasn't wasted. It set, a lot of things in place as far as reflection and thinking about things. And then come spring, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again and start our year from there. And think about our quarters from March on. And so I invite you to really think about what that would mean for you if you were to do it differently, if you were to do it seasonally as opposed to the business quarters. How would that affect you? Have you noticed ebbs and flows in your energy, certain times of year that you are more tired, you need more rest? And surprisingly, or maybe not, because it's a very masculine energy world, we, in December, busiest time of year for most of us, especially if you're a mother and maybe you're working and have a business. There's all these different things and you're trying to do all the things. And this is a time we are supposed to be at rest. So what could you do differently to bring that into your life? And one of the reasons that we do so much planning in our mastermind is for that very reason. Maybe we have kids at home in the summer or we want to travel, and maybe we have other obligations at Christmas or whatever time of year it is for you, because everyone has different holidays. We have a range of holidays that are celebrated in December in our mastermind. I personally celebrate Yule. Many people celebrate Christmas. Do we have a Kwanzaa? I think we have a Kwanzaa. We definitely have Hanukkah. We have a few different holidays being celebrated. So whatever your holidays are, at whatever time of year they are, if you plan your year, you can work with those. And you don't have to follow what everybody else is doing. You don't have to. We're told there's one way to do it and only one way. And we maybe see these big businesses that do it and we think, wow, we have to do it that way because that's what they're doing. That doesn't mean you can't succeed doing it a different way. And if you try to shift your energy to doing something that doesn't work, doesn't resonate with you, doesn't align with you, you're going to burn out. You're not going to achieve what you want to achieve. So start to think about where your energy is going. When you have energy, when you don't have energy, where you can put that, and really start to think about that from a business perspective, but also your own personal, personal life, and see what changes you can make. And I invite you to think about seasonal planning, seasonal quarters to help you in your business and see how you can shift the energy for your own self. And if you're interested in how we're doing it at the Aligned Business Building Mastermind, I will put a link below so that you can get 90% off your first month and come and join this group of amazing women who are building and growing their online businesses and really embracing doing things differently, aligning things with their own energy, their own value, ethics, and their own life goals. Maybe you don't want to be sitting in your own cubicle you've made at home. Maybe you want to be doing it from a beach. Maybe you only want to be working a few hours a month. Whatever it is for you, align your business that way. So come check us out and see how we do things, right? I'll put the link below when I'm done here. But in the meantime, think about seasonal planning, the energy of the seasons, and how you could be doing your business different. And we should be back in 2 weeks with another interview. So look forward to that. But in the meantime, I thank you for listening, and please feel free to leave a comment. If something resonated with you, if you don't agree, if you do agree, I'd love to hear. All right, I'm Larissa Russell from Creative You Business. Bye for now. That's if I can leave.